skating competition from Kezar Pavilion in the heart of Golden Gate Park, San Francisco, California. Today, it's the San Francisco Bay Bombers versus the Brooklyn Red Devils. This game has been pre-recorded for syndication and showing at a more convenient time. Any use, retransmission, reproduction, or other description of this broadcast without the express written permission of the International Roller Skating League and or its associates is strictly prohibited. The announcers for this broadcast have been hired by the International Roller Skating League and are in no way affiliated with the station on which you are watching this program. Hello, I'm Don Drury. Along with Nick Scopus, we'll be calling today's action for you. But first, let's take a look at some of the competitors we'll be watching in action today.
Down in the infield, you got Tony Roman, one of the all-time high scorers skating for the Bay Bombers. He's been second all the way around in all the years that he's skated. One of the fastest jammers and most cleverest jammers you've ever seen, helping out the Bombers. You got Cal Stevens on the other end. You can see his back to you, a big 220-pound blocker for the Red Devils. He'll be helping Ken Monty. Number 26, Tony Smith. That's another 200-pounder on the Red Devils. This guy's awfully tough, backed up by Cal Stevens. Donald, these two teams look like they're really set for action. They're both almost two all-star teams. I've never seen two stronger teams before that get on a track like this.
Well, Nick, those are some of the superstars that we'll be watching in today's competition when we return, with the women already in progress in this game coming your way from Kezar Pavilion. But first, let's take a timeout. Oh, I'm Don Drury, back with Nick Scopus. We're here at Kezar Pavilion. It's the Bay Bombers in competition against the powerful Brooklyn Red Devils. You see a rundown of the women's lineup. We've joined this period, the fifth period of skating action, already in progress. A little bit of action going out there on the track right now. Ann Calvello down, Joan Weston spinning around. Nick, you skated with Ann Calvello for many years. What would you say her strategy is for the opening of this season?
I don't know the way it looks right now, Don. It looks like she's going to try and get to Weston as early as she can. She's trying to get her jammers out on top, do as much scoring as she can. So far, she's been starting to get to Joni a little bit. She's getting a jump on Joan, but I don't know. I look for it to be a very tough game.
I think so, Nick. The score right now, the Red Devils 14, the Bay Bombers 11. The pack has been reorganized and the jammers break their way out of the pack. Moving for the Bay Bombers, number 32 in the brown and orange jersey, Barbara Baker. And moving for the Red Devils, of course, in the red and yellow jerseys, number 21, and that is Claudia Hopp. No, correction, that is Dolores Holmes. She's a rookie picked up by the Brooklyn club this season. Baker, good elbow block on the inside. Holmes hit back. Baker takes over the lead on the jam. Both jammers moving into scoring contention at the rear of the pack. It'll be Ann Calvello back on defense for the Brooklyn Red Devils. High elbow blocks by number 23, Ann Calvello, to Barbara Baker. Number 38, the Golden Girl, Joan Weston, back on defense for the Bay Bombers. An elbow block to the outside. Both offensive jammers having a tough time. Skater slams into the rail. That's Baker. She's put there by Calvello. Calvello now looking to assist, but Weston holding defense for the Bay Bombers at the rear of the pack. Red Devil jammer Hobbs moves to the outside. Good elbow block again, back by Weston. Hip block, elbow combination. The skater is ridden high. Another shoulder block. Skater taken down. Baker is on the move. The Bombers have the break. Weston going up to Calvello in the pack. Baker to the inside. Trying to fight her way through. Picked off by J.J. Burton. Unable to get through for the score. No score on the play. No score. Joan Weston. Great defensive blocking there. And Nick, I think a key blocking there by J.J. Burton.
J.J. Burton was really playing some heads-up defense in there, Donald. I don't know how the heck she picked up
Barbara Baker on that play. I didn't even see her in there.
I thought Baker got through. I thought Calvello was flat-footed. Here comes J.J. and stopped her dead. The teams have been going like that all night.
And this, of course, the beginning of one of the most exciting seasons ever. The Bay Bombers probably one of the most powerful. Weston up in a turn, and Calvello, the officials quickly stepping in between the two women. Coach Charlie O'Connell down on the infield. A few kind words to Ann Calvello, number 23, and she's certainly a proud one. She's been around for many, many years.
She's starting to intimidate Weston to where Weston's going to get unnecessary penalties, and that's what they want, is to get Weston off that track, Don.
The score remains the Red Devils 14, the Bay Bombers 11. We're here in the fifth skating period of this game between the Bay Bombers and the Brooklyn Red Devils. The pack is reorganized. For you fans who have never seen a game before, the pack is formed when the Jammers, those are the skaters with the striped helmets, are out the rear. The blockers in the middle. And the whistle sounds. The Jammers work their way up through the pack. Once they get in front of the pack, the whistle sounds again. They then have 60 seconds to lap the pack. For each opposing skater lapped and passed, they receive 1 point. That, of course, has to be within that 60-second time limit. All 4 Jammers out and moving on the play. 4 potential scores, 2 for the Bombers and 2 for the Red Devils. Bay Bomber Jammers have the lead. It is number 37, Carol Peanutsmeyer on the move for the Bay Bombers, along with 35, Judy McGuire. Jackie Carrillo, 25, out for the Red Devils, and 24, Jerry Abatello. Skater Bomber Jammers moved out of the way. Weston hit into the rail by Ann Calvello. The Red Devil Jammers move in. The jam called off. And the official decision, there were 2 more Red Devil points picked up on the jam. The Red Devils take a 5-point lead over the Bay Bombers, 16-11.
This is where Weston is going to have to get her girls together. They're going to have to start doing some scoring. They're going to have to get very heavy up in front, Donald. They're getting the Red Devil Jammers out. They have strong jammers, and then Calvello at the back of the pack is just taking them right through there like water through a sieve. These guys are going to have to do something. Weston's going to have to get awfully strong up in front.
I don't think they can afford to wait too much longer, Nick. I know they're in the 5th skating period right now. It is a low-scoring game with the Red Devils leading 16-11. However, when you've got a 5-point lead, I don't care what period it is in. I think that's what's going to. I think this is what you were talking about right here, Nick. It's Joan Weston going out on the play. The Jammers started first, and it's the women's captain, number 38, Joan Weston. Dolores Tucker also on the move of the Bay Bombers. J.J. Burton, number 27, out and moving for the Red Devils. Weston sending Tucker off on a whip, decides to drop back, takes up the blocking jaws, keeping the Red Devils in. She's getting strong. Leg blocks up in the front. Jammer moves up again. Weston, those key blocks in there. Weston continuing to work on Calvello. Tucker moving into scoring position. There's the blocking out the rear now. In Monty yelling instruction. Calvello hit into the rail. Weston blocking up the box. Getting out. Tucker still on the move, trying to fight her way through that pack. Weston moving up. Spinwick to the inside. The jam called off. The official decision on the play. There were 3 Bay Bomber points scored.
Hey, Donald, now this is what they need. They have to get Joni up in front. They have to get those jammers out. Joni picking off the Red Devils, letting her own jammer go on. That's the way they have to work. The score is 16-15 now, and they got to come back as far as they can.
There's less than a minute remaining here in the 5th skating period. Red Devils on top by 1, 16-15 over the Bay Bombers. They'll try and reorganize that pack. If the jam should start, they'll have the remaining time on the scoreboard clock. Remember, only the last jam in each half, if started with less than a minute, goes to full 60 seconds. Calvello going up to Weston at the front of the pack. There's a leg block into the back of Weston. A shoulder block. Weston staggered. Jammers have broken loose, but there are only 23 seconds left to go, and it's the Bomber Jammers with the lead. Peanutsmeyer out, along with Judy McGuire, number 35. In pursuit for the Red Devils is number 24, Jerry Abatello. Weston coming on to the rear of the pack. She's going up to Calvello in the rear. Weston misses the block into the rail. A jam called off by the Bay Bomber Jammers. Good play. Heads-up play by the Bombers. They could not afford to let Weston be scored over. They are trailing. And that's the end of the 5th skating period, with the Red Devils leading 16-15 over the Bay Bombers. We'll take a brief timeout right here. We're back with the action. We're in the 6th skating period. The men have just taken the track for this period. And the Jammers are out and moving on the play. For the Red Devils, number 21, Larry Lee. For the Bay Bombers, it's number 32, Chris Rowe out and moving on the jam. Jammers moving along. There's a leg block in by Larry Lee. A shoulder block. Rowe spun off the rail, stays on his skates, and it takes up the pursuit once again on the Red Devil Jammer. Each team, 1 potential score out moving on the play. For the Red Devils, on defense will be number 27, Cal Stevens, 240 pounds, defensive blocker for that team. For the Bay Bombers, it will be number 38, Bill Grohl, former New York Chief coach, now the men's captain of the Bay Bombers. Good elbow block, and Grohl is put down by Cal Stevens. Stevens looking to assist, trying to move Grohl on the way. Lead the lead jammer, sidestep by Grohl, but Stevens contains number 32, Chris Rowe. Puts him down again. Monty misses the block on Grohl. There's a charge to the inside. Grohl taken out. Pilot going over that pack. Jammer trying to fight his way through. Spins to the inside. Skaters down. Rowe coming up now. The jam called off. The jam called off. And the official decision, there was 1 Bay Bomber point picked up on the play. There were 2 Red Devil points scored. 2 Red Devil points picked up on the jam. So the Red Devils remain on top. They lead by 2, 18-16.
Donald, those guys are getting very hectic out there. Red Devils are trying to jump out and show their strength. The Bombers are trying to stop them. These guys are all veterans of this game. I think the newest guy out there has 5 years in. And they're just very, very strong. It's not enough that I can say about these two teams with Monty and Cal Stevens and Orozco and O'Connell. And this has been a great game, one of the better ones I've ever seen.
The pack is formed, the Jammers bring out. It's number 36, Cliff Butler moving for the Bay Bombers. Off a whip from Ken Monty will come number 25, Ed Hessen, veteran skater, 3 years, moving after a 1963 Rookie of the Year, Cliff Butler. Sidestep by Butler, shoulder block, he's down. Hessen back up and moving, but Roman comes out of the pack after him. Eddie Krebs caught in a position back up by Bill Grohl. He'll be forced through the blocking. Butler moving up. Remember, the lead jammer is 36, Cliff Butler. He's the one that can score. Butler moves up, sidestep. He scored. Then try to move Cal Stevens out of the way. Bombers still on the move. Jump back on the box. Skater all the way down. Butler! Tremendous effort. Jam called off. There were 3 Bay Bomber points picked up on the play. 3 Bay Bomber points scored by Butler. A tremendous second effort, Nick.
Yes, it was. They did most of that on his own. He's a great skater. He's very, very agile on his feet. Plus, he's got a lot of weight behind him. He's 190 pounds. One of the stronger skaters on the bank track. O'Connell was in front, containing the guys in front. Orozco in the back, helping him through. All he had to do was get past that first man.
It looked like O'Connell pulled him right up over the top. His jump went down, trying to throw that block. And they'll be trying to reorganize the pack. The Bay Bombers now lead by 1 point. They go into the lead, 19-18 over the Red Devils. The pack reorganized. The whistle sounds, a whip. Rolling around the outside is number 35, Dynamite Mike Gammon. He's newly acquired from the Chiefs for the Bay Bombers. He was the former men's captain. One of the top scorers in the league, in the International Roller Derby League for the past 3 seasons that it did exist. He's out with number 21, Larry Lee, who puts him down, but Gammon is back on his skates and already moving again. Cal Stevens back to lead the way. Bill Grohl back on the fence. O'Connell back there as a backup. Here's Stevens, 27 to lead the way in. Leg blocking the Grohl. Drive, power play by the Red Devils. Jam called off. Jam called off. The official decision, there was 1 Bay Bomber point picked up by Mike Gammon. There were a total of 4 Red Devil points picked up on that play. And Coach Ken Monty is down on the infield protesting to official Bill Morrissey that jam was called off before the Bomber did score.
Well, you can see the strength of that Cal Stevens coming in from the back and driving those players up high on that track, getting his jammer through there. This guy is just super. But if O'Connell or Orozco get on him a little bit, boy, that's going to be it. The score's 22-20 with the Red Devils up in the lead, Donald.
I think so, Nick. It's going to be a long season for the Bay Bombers if they have to contend with Cal Stevens. He gets better and better every season.
Yes, he does.
Back reorganized. Jammers having a tough time working their way out. Tony Roman on the block. Martin Stackett was down in the pack. O'Connell with a whip, and Roman is flying. A lot of speed. Look at that man move. Bay Bombers now the only jammer out when they're going to play. Number 37, veteran Tony Roman, but it's going to be number 28, Ken Monty. Back to the blocking. He sends Stevens forward to prevent the Bombers from getting anybody back. 28, Ken Monty, coach of the Brooklyn Red Devils. Goes back a long ways. He was a coach when Charlie O'Connell broke into the league. There's a leg block by Monty. Forearm block thrown back by Monty. Elbow block back. Roman slowed down and staggered. Bombers trying to get somebody out. And Stevens finally puts down number 37, Tony Roman. Skater put him to the rail. Who tried to score for the Red Devils was Ed Hessen. He's stopped by O'Connell. Both of these jammers trying to find their way through. Skater down. A block by O'Connell. Another one back there. Again O'Connell with a block. When they're missing the action, the jam is now pulled off.
O'Connell is pumped up, boy. He's really after it now. He's got his team down. He wants to get those points in. He's trying to get them in any way he can. He don't care who it is.
And there'll be a timeout called here. A timeout being called for by the Red Devils right now. We did not get a ruling as to score, but we will momentarily. Timeout being called on the track. The Bombers and the Red Devils in competition here in the 6th skating period. We're back with the action possession after the timeout. The Red Devils trail by, or on top by 1 point, 22 to 21. There was a penalty on Charlie O'Connell on the last play, blocking after the jam. On the jam now, it's number 35, Mike Gammon. Blasted back by Cal Stevens in the red attack. Dumped by Tony Smith. Red Devils have that lead jammer up and moving. There's a leg block in by Stevens to Grohl. Puts him down. The jammer still going, trying to score. Pile up down in a turn. The jam called off. The official ruling, there were 2 Red Devil points picked up on the play. The Red Devils now go up to a 3-point lead. 24 to 21 over the Bay Bombers. O'Connell will return and the Bombers will be back to full strength.
Well, you watch Tony Smith come off that whip from Cal Stevens, and you got like 500 pounds coming at you. Just awesome when he hits the back of that pack without O'Connell in there. He'll drive right on through and pick up those points like he did. There's no way you can stop that.
Red Devils primarily dominating this game over the Bay Bombers. They lead now by 3, 24 to 21. 3 minutes, 47 seconds remaining here in the 6th skating period of this game coming your way from Kezar Pavilion. The pack is being reorganized. The pivot skaters to the front, the blockers in the middle, and the jammers in the rear. A pack is formed, the whistle sounds, jammers coming up. It'll be number 38, Bill Grohl, moving out for the Bay Bombers. Red Devils looking for a jammer. It's number 21, Larry Lee, in pursuit for the Red Devils. 1-1 on the play. Lee moves to the inside of block to veteran coach Bill Grohl, former coach of the Chiefs, now the men's captain of the San Francisco Bay Bombers. Lee moves up again, sidestep by Grohl. Lee mistiming that block. Again off stride, Grohl back to the inside, shoulder block, Lee spun into the rail. It'll be Cal Stevens back on defense for the Red Devils. Butler back on the assist. He's going to also have to watch Larry Lee, who is moving in a scoring position. Grohl makes a move to the outside, hit back. Lee, 21, moves in. He's trying to score for the Red Devils. Look at these 2 big men. Grohl about 190 pounds. Cal Stevens 240 on defense. Butler back with a good block. Number 36, Butler moves to the block. Moves Stevens out of the way. Jam called off. The official decision, there was 1 Bay Bomber point picked up on a play by Bill Grohl. Nick, I don't think Cliff Butler actually made contact with Stevens, but it did distract him just a slight bit there.
Well, I think the thing that really distracted Stevens was that Grohl started slowing up on him, and Stevens didn't know what he was going to do, and with Butler cutting in front of him, he was waiting for him to slam on the brakes and start coming back, and I think that's what fouled him up. But Billy played it pretty smart backing off of Cal Stevens. He's got to do that. The man's much bigger than he is. Bill, being a blocker primarily, isn't as agile as Gammon or Roman, so he's got to play his cards right and wait for somebody to come up and give him an assist.
24 to 22, the Red Devils remain on top by 2 points. 2 minutes remaining here in the 6th skating period. It's number 32, Chris Rowe, out moving for the Bay Bombers. For the Red Devils, number 26, Tony Smith. Secondary jammers yet to break out of the pack. Gammon with a slight lead out there, but the lead jammers are on your screen right now. 26, Tony Smith moves to the inside. He's another big man, Nick.
Yes, he is. Like I said before, this guy, if he gets rid of this Chris Rowe and you got Cal Stevens and him back there coming in, it's tough.
Larry Lee will be doing the blocking for the Red Devils. He's trying to stop Chris Rowe. Cliff Butler is again back on defense for the Bay Bombers. Smith moves to the outside, trying to score. Butler stays right with him. A high elbow block, a shoulder block. Smith has been put down. Butler now trying to move somebody else out of the way. That's the blocker, Larry Lee, but he backs off of Butler and contains Chris Rowe. Again, Smith moves up for the Red Devils. A low elbow block. Thrown back by Cliff Butler. Another one thrown back. Lee spinning around. Stops Chris Rowe. Smith is again dumped by Butler. Butler reaching back, trying to get that jammer around the outside. Again, Smith moves up for the Red Devils. Not much time remaining in the jam. About 2 seconds left to go. Jump block back by Butler. Both jammers go down. Time runs out on the play. No score. No score. So the score remains. The Red Devils 24, the Bay Bombers 22. There are 45 seconds remaining here in the 6th skating period.
That's the only way you can defense against a big man, Don, is if you slow that pack down and get that guy going at a standstill. It's very hard for him to pick up speed and go around you. A small man coming in, that's awfully tough. You start to slow him up, he can fake you out, go right around you, inside, outside, any way he wants to go. These big guys, the Bombers, are going to have to slow him up.
There are 22 seconds left to go in this period. If they get a jam started again, it will not run the full 60 seconds. They'll only have the time remaining on the clock. Pivot skaters are in the front. Blockers are in the middle. The pack is now formed. The whistle sounds. Jammers trying to fight their way up to start the jam, but they're going to have a long way to go and a short time to do it. Jam has started, but time is running out with 3, 2, 1. It's over. And that is the end of the period. Roman almost getting around in time in a short time. That is the end of the period with the score. The Red Devils 24, the Bay Bombers 22. We'll be back right after this timeout. Action here at Kezar Pavilion. I'm Don Drury along with Nick Skopas. Today it's the Brooklyn Red Devils and the San Francisco Bay Bombers. We're at Kezar Pavilion. We're in the seventh skating period of this game. And the score, the Red Devils 24, the Bay Bombers 22. The Jammers have just broken out for the Bay Bombers. It's number 36, Sue Pragulya, and number 32, Barbara Baker. For the Red Devils, it's number 28, Lana Kasanovic. She's out number 2-1. Baker attempting to slow her down, puts her down in the bomber turn, and now the Bombers have both potential scorers moving into the rear of the pack. And Calvello, the veteran, on defense at the rear along with J.J. Burton. Joan Weston dropping back on the assist. However, the Red Devil jammer moves up. Weston forced to drop back to do the blocking there. The double block in the rear of the pack holds up for the Red Devils. Burton and Calvello stopping both of those bomber jammers. Jammers trying to fight their way through. The jam called off. The official decision, there were two. There were two Bay Bomber points picked up on the play. One by each jammer, one by Pragulya, one by Barbara Baker.
Calvello and Burton were starting to slow him up pretty good. They had a good double block going. Burton must have lost her footing in there in the turn. Down you go. It's awfully tough to skate on the bank track, Don.
Score tied now, 24-24. Score tied up, 24-24. And the women will reorganize that pack. Once again, if you're just tuning in, the Bay Bombers are in the brown and orange jerseys. Brown and orange. The Red Devils are in the red and yellow jerseys. Red and yellow jerseys. Pivot skaters must be at the front of the pack. They wear the solid black helmets. Blockers wear the solid colored team helmets, and the jammers wear the striped helmets. They start at the rear of the pack. The whistle sounds, the jammer moves up, starts the play by moving in front of the pack. 60 seconds, then starts ticking away. Once the jammer started to play, a pivot skater is then eligible to go out on a jam. We have 4 potential scorers moving. Number 35, Judy McGuire out and moving for the Bay Bombers, along with 27, J.J. Burton. Secondary jammers are 34, Dolores Tucker and Ann Calvello. Both bomber jammers have been dumped by Ann Calvello, and the Red Devils now move alone. 27, J.J. Burton, and the women's captain, number 23, Ann Calvello. It'll be Joan Weston back to do the blocking. She's got her work cut out. Double duty blocking in the rear of the pack. McGuire, about a half a lap behind, is moving for the Bay Bombers, but she's out number 2-1. Weston trying to contain both Ann Calvello and J.J. Burton. Burton to the outside, hit back. Calvello drive to the inside by Weston. Burton to the outside. Jam called off. The jam called off. The official ruling on the play, there were 2 Red Devil points scored on the jam. 2 Red Devil points scored, one by Ann Calvello and one by J.J. Burton. Red Devils move back into the lead by 2 points. The Red Devils 26, the Bay Bombers 24.
Calvello and Burton have become a good 1-2 combination. They came in inside-outside on Weston. Weston was doing a fine job blocking them out, but when they take high and low on the tracks, there's hardly anything that Joni can do. And they had to cut it off with McGuire coming late. Boy, it takes an awful lot out of you when you get knocked down and have to get up and start chasing like McGuire did. The only thing you got to worry about now, Don, is Calvello starting to jam and block. It may wear her out this late in the game.
Well, you should know better than I, Nick. You spent enough time right out there on the Masonite service itself. The jam has started. The Bombers with the advantage right now. They have 2 jammers to 1 out moving on the play. 32, Barbara Baker, and 36, Sue Pragulya. The Red Devils have a jammer out. It is Jerry Abatello. She's out number 2-1, trying to grab the lead. Or, sorry, that's Lana Kasanovic, number 28. She's out number 2-1, but now Jackie Garillo, 25, also moves up for the Brooklyn Red Devils. All 4 jammers out and moving. Lead potential scorers moving in at the rear of the pack. And Calvello, 23, back on defense for the Red Devils at the rear of the pack. For the Bay Bombers, it's going to be Little Peanuts Meyer. Calvello dumping the Bay Bomber jammer. Calvello moving up, trying to move Meyer out of the way, drives her into the rail. Skaters going down by the inside. The jam called off. The jam called off. I'm not sure if they got a score there or not. I believe there was a penalty call out there. I believe there was a penalty call. The official ruling on the play is that there was a 1-minute penalty call on Ann Calvello. And the penalty was for holding Peanuts Meyer. Therefore, there will be no score on the jam. It was not the jammer attempting to score, Nick, so the jammer going by Calvello cannot get credit on that penalty, and the Red Devils will be shorthanded. This may be the break that the Bombers need, putting Calvello in the penalty box.
score remains the same at 26-24, Don. I think Kasanovic came through there and cut that jam off, and she should have kept going. It could have picked up a point someplace along the line. But the Bomber couldn't score over a penalized skater.
Back is forward, the whistle sounds. The offensive jammers moving out. It's Jerry Abatello on the move, and the Red Devils are speeding number 35, right? Judy McGuire moving for the Bay Bombers. 1-1 on the play. Two long-time veterans out moving on this jam. They know their way around that surface. They'll be moving into scoring position. Both have learned the tricks of the trade. They'll be trying to set each other up as they move into the rear of the pack to give themselves the best advantage. Abatello now makes her move. She'll be facing Dolores Tucker. It's J.J. Burton already trying to throw the blocks into Judy McGuire and stopping her. McGuire, 35, has the lead on the jam. She moves to J.J. Burton again. To the outside, tries the inside, back to the outside. Good quick move, but Burton stayed right with her. Dolores Tucker containing 24, Jerry Abatello on that play. Jammers have jam called off. The jam called off, and Abatello got by Dolores Tucker. There was one Red Devil point picked up on the jam. Penalty time is up on Ann Calvello, but they're calling a timeout on the track with the Red Devils leading 27-24 over the Bay Bombers here in the 7th period. Don Drury, Nick Scopa's back calling the action for today's game between the Red Devils and the Bay Bombers from Kezar Pavilion. We're in the 7th skating period of this game. With 5 minutes remaining to go in the 7th skating period, the Red Devils are on top by 3, 27-24. There's a sidestep by Phoenix Meyer, and Jackie Garillo goes down. Bay Bombers have the lead jammer out moving on the play. They need it, though. They trail by 3 points right now. Garillo is up and moving again, but she's about a half a lap behind. It'll be Ann Calvello, women's captain of the Red Devils, number 23 back on defense, and number 38, Joan Weston, the women's captain of the Bay Bombers, drops back on the assist. A leg block by Calvello, an elbow block. Weston moves up, unable to throw a block into Calvello as there was a Red Devil jammer approaching. Meyer losing her helmet. She needs a helmet from the infield. McGuire runs across the infield, gets Meyer the helmet. Weston forced to drop back. Garillo approaching. Again, Meyer attempts to score to the outside. Weston with a block to Calvello. It does not take. Weston reaching back as a whip. Meyer moves up low inside. Trying to get back up and calls the jam off. There was one Bay Bomber point picked up by Carol Phoenix Meyer off the whip from Joan Weston. Spotting low on the inside of Ann Calvello.
Squatting low and taking her legs out. That's an awfully tough way to stop anybody from coming in. It's also a very dangerous way to come in. You can get racked up if you foul up in any way. Calvello getting a little heat put on her there. That's the only way they can get to her. They gotta make her look bad, and she kind of blows her stack. If you can't get to Annie, she's going to be death out there, Don. She'll just stay on him. She did a fine job blocking Weston and Peanuts Meyer out at the same time there until Weston finally backed off, gave Meyer a whip, and took her legs out. But you have to get to Annie. You have to disrupt her game. If she stays on her game, she's awfully tough.
Well, I think she's got a little bit of help out there today and probably for the rest of the season, Nick. And J.J. Burton, she's pulled some surprising defensive moves.
She's looked very good. The whole team has looked good. I was surprised at their jammers.
The pack is formed. The jammers are on the move once again. It's number 35, Judy McGuire, in competition for the Bay Bombers against the Red Devils on this play. It's Claudia Hobdy, number 26, out moving for the Red Devils. Calvello is working on Peanuts Meyer in the pack. McGuire is put down at the rear of the pack. Calvello going to work on Peanuts Meyer. Meyer being hit, put down by Calvello. Tucker being pinned up there. Hobdy trying to go through on the inside, calls the playoff. And the official decision, there were 2 more Red Devil points scored on that jam. Good strategy thrown out there by the Red Devils. They take a 4-point lead. They were leading by, I believe, 6 points at one time in this game, Nick. They're back up to a 4-point lead here in the 7th period with 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Red Devils 29, Bay Bombers 25.
With this much time gone in the game, Don, and 4 points down, it's awfully tough to pick up because these skaters are getting tired after the game they've skated. It's one of the hardest games I've seen, and these guys are just super. I've never seen a big team like this Red Devil that can skate that well.
The pack is being reorganized once again. The jammers will start at the rear of the pack. Pivot skaters moving to the front, blockers into the middle. Once the pack is in formation, the whistle sounds. The whistle has sounded. Jammers now work their way up through the pack. Jammers starts that play. 60 seconds now, ticks away through. Supragulia starts it for the Bombers and gives a whip. It's women's captain Joan Weston on the move. The Golden Girl, number 38, Joni Weston. Number 27, J.J. Burton going out for the Red Devils. She's about a quarter of a lap and in hot pursuit. And Calvello drops back on defense for the Red Devils at the rear of the pack. Weston backing off, looking for the right opportunity, and also keeping her eye on that Red Devil jammer. Burton moving into scoring contention. Weston yet to make a move. Set to the outside, a shoulder block slows Burton down, but Abatello is also out now, and Weston is out number 2 to 1. Burton put down, Abatello coming up. Calvello still keeping her eye on Joan Weston. Now Weston starting to make a move out of the Red Devil turn, comes down the straightaway, picking up the speed, the bomber turn, sidestep, Calvello was blocked. Weston off balance, goes down, up, calls it off. There was one Bay Bomber point scored. Number 38, Joan Weston, unassisted, over and Calvello.
She did a fine job back there keeping those jammers back. I think she paid too much attention to the jammers. She could have come in a little bit sooner on that. The score now 29-26 with the Red Devils 3 points in the lead. Got O'Connell complaining about Calvello, with Calvello laying on the track.
I think it was more the other way around, Nick. I think it was Calvello complaining about O'Connell, who went out to apparently try and get her back on her skates. She was sitting down.
I've never seen Charlie have any good words with the referee.
There are 7 seconds remaining here in the 7th skating period. Final period for the women in tonight's game. The Red Devils on top, and that is the end of the 7th skating period. With the score, the Red Devils 29, the Bay Bombers 26. We'll take a brief timeout and then return for the 8th and final period of this game. We're in the 8th and final skating period of this game. Red Devils on top over the San Francisco Bay Bombers, 29-26. Pack has formed, the whistle sounds, the jammers try and work their way up out of that pack. 37, Tony Roman out moving for the Bay Bombers. Bombers need to break those jammers out on top as they trail. Red Devils also get a jammer out. Number 21, Larry Lee, taking long strides. He's really moving around and trying to gain on Roman. Good shoulder block on the inside, Roman. Hit with a good shoulder block and put down. Monty comes out of that pack, hits him with another block. Roman taken back again. Stevens coming up there. Roll and Stevens at the rear of the pack. Red Devils have the only jammer out and moving on the play. Flip Butler breaking late. He's a long ways back. Cal Stevens back to lead the way for his jammer. It'll be Bill Grohl. Back on defense for the Bay Bombers. There's a leg block. Pile up. Skater trying to go through. Lead to the outside. Calls it off. Calls it off. The official decision, there were 3 Red Devil points picked up on the jam by Larry Lee, the assist of Cal Stevens and the rest of the Red Devils. So that means that the Red Devils move back up to a 6-point lead over the Bay Bombers here in the 8th and final period, 32-26.
There's O'Connell sitting. I think he's trying to think it over now. He knows he's in trouble. He's 6 points down. But did you see the force that Cal Stevens hit Grohl? He drove him right through the center of the pack. He must have hit him 15 feet.
Not only that, I think when he hit him, he moved about 3 or 4 people to each side. I know O'Connell went down to the infield. I think that was an aftershock, Nick.
Oh, yeah. This team is just like skating against a bunch of redwoods in there. It's getting barked all over the place.
That little barked? Is that a little play on Red Devils? Jammers out moving on the jam. 32, Chris Rowe for the Bay Bombers. For the Red Devils, it is a veteran top-scoring jammer of the International Roller Skating League. Former roller derby star Eddie Krebs. He's been dubbed by Chris Rowe, however, and hit in the pack by Bill Grohl. Red Devils get another jammer out. That's Ed Hessen, 25. He's a half a lap behind. Rowe's got his work cut out. He'll be facing that 240-pound defensive blocker, Cal Stevens, in the rear of the pack. Stevens with a high elbow block. Hits him back, slows him down. Farther back on that track. The jammer trying to score. Moves up again. Grohl with a block. Dumps the Red Devil jammer. Bill Grohl back on the assist. He's going to try and move 32, Rowe around 27, Cal Stevens. He hasn't been too successful against Stevens yet here this evening, and there isn't much time remaining in the game. Jammers come up, again, put down. Roll trying to get that jammer around to the outside, reaching back. There's a whip, spin whip to the outside, reverse spin whip. Roll pulled through on the inside. The jam called off. The jam called off. The official decision, there were 2 Bay Bomber points scored by Chris Rowe. The assist coming of Bill Grohl.
Billy Grohl just dragged him through there. I don't know if they could pick it all up, but the power that Grohl had pulling Rowe through, Rowe was going to go through whether he wanted to or not. And O'Connell slamming on the brakes and picking up Hessen before he could get through for a point was super.
Well, there's a shot of the tremendous crowd here at Kezar Pavilion. Turnaway crowd here this afternoon. This, of course, the season opener for the San Francisco Bay Bombers at Kezar Pavilion against the Brooklyn Red Devils. Jammers trying to work their way up, and out of the back, Butler off the whip. Jammer coming up again, 37, Tony Roman on the move. Bombers get that first jammer out. They're down by 4 points right now. Cal Stevens coming off a whip from Ken Monty, who's in pursuit of Tony Roman. Roman picking up the pace, trying to hang on to that lead. Look at his Stevens move as well. A big man after Roman. Monty back to the blocking of the run. Roman calls it off.
Well, I don't know if I blame him for cutting it off. But when you're 4 points down, Don, I don't know if it's a smart move to make. But then again, if you got Cal Stevens coming on you at 240 pounds, and you got Tony Roman sitting up there at about 120, I think I'd have cut it off too.
And I think as well. Not only that, you know, it's interesting, Nick, when you get the big man out on a jam, he's not used to that. He's primarily set up to do the blocking. And when he goes out, he exerts a little bit more energy. Maybe you can tire him out in the pack as well.
Oh, yeah. That'll probably kill him for the next jammer, so I doubt if he'll go back and block on his next jam.
He is staying in the lineup. He is staying in there. And he does show signs of fatigue right now to us up here. 7 minutes, 10 seconds left to go in the game. Red Devils remain on top by 4, 32-28. The jam has started. It is Eddie Krebs, number 23, moving for the Red Devils. Number 35, Mike Gammon moving for the Bay Bombers. 25, Ed Hessen on the move for the Red Devils. Gammon with a move to the outside, spun off the rail. Hessen coming up a block, Gammon taken down. 32, Chris Rowe out and moving on the play. Gammon back in the pack, and Rowe has been put down. He's back in the pack. Red Devils now with a double scoring threat. They have the lead jammer, 23, Krebs on the move, and number 25, Ed Hessen. Bombers without anybody, but they've got Charlie O'Connell back on defense. The big O to do double-duty blocking. Red Devil jammers looking for assistance. Stevens and Monty yet to drop back to help. Krebs makes a move. Picked off by O'Connell. Hessen to the inside. Hit again. Krebs trying to fight his way through again. Staggered back. Hessen falling over the top of a hitting Eddie Krebs. Both jammers back up and moving again. There are about 10 seconds left to go in this jam. Red Devil still with the only jammer out moving. Krebs making his move. The time is going to run out against him. And the jam time runs out. A good play by Charlie O'Connell taking out Krebs. Hessen falling right over the top of him. Nick, I think they had so much energy out in front, they just didn't have the wind to get back up.
You know something, O'Connell is just like a good wine. The older he gets, the better he gets. I don't know if there was any way those guys were going to get by him right now.
32-28, Red Devils remain on top by 4, and a timeout being called here in the 8th and final period. Final period of this game between the San Francisco Bay Bombers and the Brooklyn Red Devils at Kezar Pavilion. The Red Devils dominating this game, remain on top by 4, 32-28. 32-28. And it is number 36, Cliff Butler, who starts the jam of the Bay Bombers. Veteran coach Ken Monty and pivot skater. Now an eligible scorer as the jammer started to play first, moves out in pursuit. 1-1 on the play. Monty inside. Good shoulder block, high elbow. Butler hit down in the turn, taken off the track, has been replaced by number 35, Mike Gammon. Gammon breaking late. However, Larry Lee comes out with him. It'll be O'Connell back on defense for the Bay Bombers again. Coach Ken Monty moving up. Gammon on the move. Late chase. Here comes Monty. Elbow blocked back by O'Connell. Monty slowing down. Looks over his shoulder. Gammon put down. Monty again makes another surge. Again hit. Stopped by O'Connell. Gammon again back on his skates. Again put down. Shoulder block again by O'Connell. Stopping Monty from scoring. Gammon to the outside. Again put down. Monty staggered to the outside. Moves up. Elbow block. Gammon moves up. Time running out there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over. And the official decision, although a gallant effort, time did run out. No score on the play.
Those three of the all-time great skaters in the league, Don, back there. I don't know who could have gotten by who. That was just excellent. O'Connell stopping Monty, Monty stopping Gammon, and Gammon still coming back on these two guys. It's just great. You can't beat all that experience out there. That's what it's all about. These guys are so good. You can't say enough about them.
32-28. The score tells the story. The Red Devils remain on top by 4. 3 minutes, 33 seconds remaining in the game. Bombers trying to get that pack back into formation. Not much time remaining. They're switching off the jammers. For the Bombers, it will be 37, Tony Roman, and number 38, Bill Grohl. For the Red Devils, it will be 21, Larry Lee, and 23, Eddie Krebs. Skater taken to the infield, put down is Eddie Krebs, but the jam is started by number 38, Bill Grohl. 1-1, out and moving on the play. Bombers have the lead jammer, 38, Bill Grohl. 21 is Larry Lee. He moves to the inside. Up with an elbow block, takes the lead on the jam. Grohl driving back out of the turn, out of the Red Devil turn, down a drive. Good, hard blocks by Grohl. Sidestep by Lee. Sidestep back by Grohl. Lee spins off the rail and takes up the chase again. Both jammers moving in. It's going to be Cal Stevens back to do the blocking at the rear of the pack. Grohl put down. Stevens back to assist Larry Lee, who moves into scoring contention. They've got Tony Roman cornered back there. He's now forced to do the blocking, although he is a jammer. High elbow blocks. Stevens comes out, misses a block to Tony Roman. Grohl put down time and time again. Back up and moving on. Number 27, Cal Stevens. Stevens set and waiting. Stevens again moves up, tries to move Roman out of the way. The block doesn't take. Ken Monty moving up on the assist. He is a blocker. He can't outscore. Grohl driven into the rail by Stevens. Time for the jam starting to expire now. It is run out. Time of the jam running out. The official decision, there was one Bay Bomber point scored on the play.
That was a great assist by Tony Roman back there blocking against a big man like that. Monty coming up, scores 32-29 with the Red Devils 3 points in the lead and time running out.
1 minute, 50 seconds remaining here in the game. Red Devils remain on top, 32-29. Bombers trying to get that pack back in the formation. O'Connell talking to his team as the Red Devils move around. Jammer is taking a well-deserved rest. Each jammer that was on the previous play is allowed a 2-lap rest at the rail. At that point, they must either leave the track and be replaced or join the pack. And the Red Devils, of course, trying to stall out the clock. That's the best thing they can do right now. Stall the clock. They lead by 3, 32-29. Pack being reorganized. A minute and 20 seconds left to go. Remember, the last jam in each half, if started, runs the full 60 seconds, regardless of the time on the scoreboard clock. A minute, 8 seconds to go. Red Devils still stalling that clock down. They'll try and get the first jammer out to prevent the Bombers from scoring. Jammer's coming up, blowing around the outside, now up a whip. It's number 35, Mike Gammon starting to play. Jammer's out and moving. Time of the period and jammer approximately within about 2 seconds of each other. The official scorer has that correct time. Gammon is on the move for the Bombers. He has Tony Smith coming out with the Red Devils. Tony Roman for the Bombers and 25, Ed Hessen for the Red Devils. Gammon back with a block. Smith done by Roman. Hessen put down. Double scoring threat for the Bay Bombers. Two of the top jammers in the league. Tony Roman and Mike Gammon. Gammon with the lead on the play. It's going to be veteran Ken Monty back to the blocking. Stevens breaking late. O'Connell coming out after Cal Stevens. Pivot skaters on the play. Monty doing double duty blocking in the rear. Look at his move. Man move back and forth. Stopping both Roman. Stopping Gammon. O'Connell takes Stevens out, but Monty has got his work cut out for him. He tries to hang on to the lead. It's O'Connell. Charlie O'Connell is now a potential score. O'Connell inside. Gammon going through. It's called off. Jam called off. The official decision, there were 2 Bay Bomber points. 2 Bay Bomber points picked up on the play. Correction. 2 Bay Bomber points. 2 Bay Bomber points picked up on the play, and time has run out in the game. We point out on that last jam that O'Connell was an eligible scorer, but the first 2 skaters to score become the eligible scorers. The third skater that is a jammer at that point cannot score in addition. The rules state that each team is allowed 2 potential scorers or 2 jammers. O'Connell was the first to go through. Roman, I believe, the second. The final score, the Red Devils 32, the Bay Bombers 31. Backside, along with Cal Stevens, the men's captain of the Brooklyn Red Devils. Final score here at Kezar Pavilion, the Brooklyn Red Devils 33, I believe, 32 for the Bay Bombers here. And Calvin, you look in tremendous shape.
Oh, well, thank you. That game tonight was really a humdinger. We didn't think that the Bombers were going to be as tough as they were. That Mike Gammon and Tony Roman together, it's really, Charlie really got a good team out there, but we pulled through.
You, of course, have yourself many top skaters out there. The veteran coach, Ken Monty. Joe Chump, what about Joe Chump? He's been out of action for a while.
Joe Chump has come along quite well. He's getting himself back together, and he's a great asset in the pack. He keeps the pack under control. And with myself and with Kim Monty out there, I think we have the best pack controllers and blocking in the rear experience that there is in the league today.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Cal. I noticed that you're not having too much of a problem out there yourself. You've got another big man, Tony Smith. It's tremendous, all of the strength you have. Nick Scopus and myself were just commenting earlier that between the two of you, you must have 500-600 pounds. And I don't mean to be disrespectful with that, but both of you are very, very big.
Yeah, Tony is he's big, but he's very versatile. He can jam, which we need. The Bombers have they use Grove now and then as a jammer, but we can stick with Tony as a jammer when he helps out and when we really need the points for the strength. And with Charlie back there, you do need the strength. You need Tony and myself sometime to get him out of the way. He's a great skater.
Well, I watched one play that you went on, and you were leading the jammer through, as I recall, coming into the rear of the pack. When you hit the rear of the pack, you sent skaters flying left, right up the middle. I don't know how they're going to contain with you, but it seems that I just don't know how they're going to do it. O'Connell even was moved, as I recall, to the infield.
Yeah, I've been working with Kenny a lot, and Kenny has showed me a lot of ways that to use my weight and to shift my weight around to move O'Connell out of the way, because I am a little bigger than Charlie, and although he does have the experience, but Kenny has shown me where to place myself on the track that I can move him out of the way, and I'm trying to use it to the best of my ability right now.
Well, I would imagine he helped set him up before you make those moves.
Well, of course, you know, Kenny's always out there. I don't know. Kenny taught me everything I know, and I'm glad I'm with him.
Calvin, thank you for joining us. I know you want to get going. Congratulations on the victory. This has been a presentation of the International Roller Skating League, copyrighted 1977. It has been directed by, your director rather has been, David Davis. We'd like to thank Guthmiller Trucking Incorporated of Union City for their cooperation in transportation of the track, as well as R&W Trucking of Newark for their transportation of the Bay Bombers track. From Kezar Pavilion, this is Don Drury. Thank you for joining us.